Welcome to Chronic Conversations, the podcast that brings a voice to the stories behind chronic symptoms. I'm your host, Katherine Rose, certified integrative health practitioner, founder of Reclaimable, and soon-to-be published author. After years of battling unexplained symptoms and finally getting a diagnosis of Hashimoto's, I turned my pain into purpose. Now I help women, just like you, feel seen, heard, validated, and supported through community, coaching, and connection. Each week, I'll share insights from my own journey, proven strategies I use with clients, and conversations with fellow experts and warriors. You're not alone, and you can thrive. Now let's get into today's conversation. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Chronic Conversations. It's the podcast that validates what you already know. It is not all in your head. And I'm really, really excited about today's episode. I'm excited about all episodes, but this one I don't feel like is really talked about enough. And I think it will be really, really helpful for the loved ones that are supporting those of us with chronic illness. Yeah. Let's jump right on in. So living with a chronic illness, it's not just about managing physical symptoms, even though that is a very large part of what's involved, but it's also about navigating a world that often doesn't see, hear, or understand the daily struggle that we go through. And we often talk about the importance of a village, like your family, friends, neighbors, and community to support someone living with a long-term condition. But what if that village doesn't know how to help, or how to help maybe in the best ways? And what if their attempts, of course, while well-meaning, sometimes inadvertently make things harder? Those with chronic illnesses have surely wished they could hand out an instruction manual. I know I've had those thoughts. So to help, I wanted to share 5 essential things people with chronic conditions wish their loved ones truly understood about what it's like to live with an illness that never takes a day off. So the first one, appearance is not an accurate indicator of health, which is so true. It's why the title of my book is But You Don't Look Sick, because on the outside most of us don't. And there are lots of frustrating things about having chronic illness, but this may be one of the most frustrating misconceptions, especially for those living with invisible illness. The most common comments a person with a chronic illness hears often are probably, "But you look so good. You seem fine. Are you sure you can't come?" And then, of course, on the chronic illness person comes the guilt and all other feelings and emotions that come with that. But an attractive appearance on someone with chronic illness is often a carefully constructed mask put on for the world. For many reasons. A person might spend hours resting, stopping and starting just to get ready for the morning. And when they need to change plans, it's not because they decided to be unreliable or flaky. It's because they've reached their body's absolute limit. And the effort to look well often costs we can't afford to lose. Number 2, pacing ourselves is not optional. It is an absolute necessity. So society rewards pushing through exhaustion. And I feel like that has just gotten worse. For people with chronic illnesses, this mindset can lead to huge setbacks. Y'all, real quick before we jump back into today's episode, I want to take a minute to talk to you, especially if anything you've heard so far has felt a little too familiar. If you've ever felt dismissed, misunderstood, or like you're navigating your health completely on your own, I created something for you. And it's called the Kaya Collective. Kaya stands for Come As You Are. Don't worry, it's not another program or place just to get more information. It's a space where you don't have to explain your symptoms, prove your pain, or push through to just keep up. Inside the Kaya Collective, you'll find real conversations, support from women who actually get it, and tools to help you actually understand what your body is trying to tell you, but without the overwhelm. It's for women who are doing all the right things, but still don't feel right. The woman who's tired of surface level answers and ready for something deeper, and the woman who just wants to feel seen, heard, and supported. Again, if that sounds like you, I would love to have you inside. You can learn more at the link in the show notes, and I'd love to see you there. All right, let's get back into today's episode. What their loved ones need to know is pacing is how they regulate their condition. How they pace themselves today often determines the energy they will have tomorrow. So true. When someone says they can only stay for a little bit, or they're making a conscious decision to save energy for the things that must be done, like working, caring for family, or attending a crucial appointment. So it's more of a survival strategy than it is being flaky or lazy or any of those negative terms. It's something that has to be done in the world of chronic illness. And number 3, the illness is always present even when they don't talk about it. We don't want to be a burden. And a chronic illness is not a mere complaint that is brought up like here and there. It's a constant state of being. A significant amount of mental energy is spent tracking symptoms, managing medications, strategically planning the day around energy levels, and dealing with anxiety over the next flare-up, among other things. People with chronic conditions wish their village understood that even in silence, even when they don't bring up anything about their condition, they are navigating this reality. And for example, simply asking, "How are you really doing?" and being prepared for an honest answer can be incredibly helpful. And number 4, they need empathy. They don't need to be cured. Empathy. Every person living with a chronic illness has heard their share of unsolicited wellness advice. I know I have. Suggestions like, "Have you tried yoga?" or "You just need to cut out gluten" are common. And while these suggestions often come from a place of care and well-being, they can invalidate years of tests and doctor visits and failed treatments. They just aren't helpful. And they subtly suggest that the person is still sick due to a failure on their part to try hard enough. The best approach is to skip the advice, instead offer a meal, a ride, or simply a listening ear. The key here is to offer support in some way, shape, or form. Don't try to fix or provide a solution. And number 5, their identity is more than their illness. We feel like often we kind of become our illness because we deal with it all day, every day. But to be reminded that we are more than our illness is such a good, positive, helpful thing. Living with chronic illness takes up considerable space in a person's life, but there is still a whole person underneath the diagnosis. They still crave normalcy. When talking to them, it's important not to let the illness be the only topic. Ask them about a book they're reading, the show they're watching, or the funny thing their pet did. Anything other than illness. These simple gestures remind them that they are still a friend, a family member, and the person they have always been. So what can the village do? For those who are part of the village, understanding is the first step toward true support. The best thing a loved one can do is to learn to offer practical, non-judgmental support. And, you can sit down with your loved one and just ask, have a conversation, an honest conversation. Like, I really, truly want to help, and I don't want to give you unsolicited advice. Like, what comes to mind that would be the most helpful to you? And their response might be just even being understanding when I can't make it to something, or just sitting with me when I don't feel good. checking in to see how you're really doing, and be ready for a long, honest answer. Because a lot of times, those of us with chronic illness, somebody asks, we don't want to be a burden to that other person. So oftentimes we'll say we're fine or okay and not go into detail. But if we are asked genuinely how we're doing and feel like it will be received, then we will elaborate. And knowing that that other person cares enough to listen and actively listen would feel good. So instead of asking, let me know if you need anything, which puts the burden on the sick person, try offering specific low demand tasks. And here are some examples. I'm running to the store. What can I pick up for you? Or even if you know that person's favorite chocolate or something, pick that up. Just even a little thought, knowing that somebody thought about them is nice. Another one is, can I watch a movie with you on the couch today if you're not feeling well? Can I bring over a meal today? Or you can even say, I'm bringing you a meal. Some people don't accept help very well, and some people just need to be told, and that's fine too. Understanding is the first step toward true support. And all of these tips are super helpful to the person with chronic illness, and take them, to heart, and think about if you've ever said any of these things, if, how you can possibly be more of a help, if that's possible, and just try putting yourself in your friend or family member's shoes that has chronic illness, and ask yourself, how would you like to be treated and cared for? And that is it for this short little episode. I hope you found it helpful, and we will see you next time on Chronic Conversations. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Chronic Conversations. I hope you're walking away with a little more clarity, hope, and inspiration for your healing journey. If you enjoyed today's episode, I'd love for you to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Every share helps this show reach more women who deserve to feel seen, heard, validated, and supported. And if we're not connected yet, come say hi on Instagram. You'll find me at Reclaimable, RECLAIM.able, ABLE. Plus, you can check out free tools and resources anytime for your wellness journey at Reclaimable, RECLAIM-able.com. And until next time, take care, and here's to thriving well, no matter where you are on your journey.